Mohammed Awal with 2 goals so far in this tournament. Vital goals he scored, one of them on this pitch to give House of Prayer a very comfortable lead in this tournament. And also you have Shola, you have Kamaruddin, also in defense, Zakaria, Muritala, and also Jima Mubarak. Complete the list of players for House of Prayer Football Academy. Why for VINOD Football Academy? This is another team who is here to lose a game so far since the beginning of the tournament. You have Sahid Rashid in goal, Usman Kokola, Matthew Promise, Mohammed Razak, Mohammed Umar, Kapir Abubakar, Ikwe for today. Coach Wenger has also been the assistant coach of the team. Wenger David has been the assistant coach of the team since the start of the year. Here it is, Coach Wenger going to the touchline, hoping to give the players the right motivation as they aim to start this game. Abdusalam Mohammed of VINOD goes straight to the center circle. He's about to start the game for between House of Prayer Football Academy and also VINOD. VINOD now have the ball deep into their own now, starting from left to right, launching another one. All Academy, like I said, they've only registered one defeat so far in the tournament, and that defeat come away against Ikorodu City. Strain advantage to VINOD. Matthew Promise is the player to take the throw-in. Throw-in has been taken and cleared by House of Prayer Football Academy. House of Prayer are trying to see if they can get an account or bank charging forward. But VINOD still holding possession, being calm in possession by the way so far. Another ball launched forward into the half of House of Prayer Football Academy. Monday James, the captain, Oluide in possession, clears, trying to look for Shuaib Akim. Shuaib Akim still in possession is Omodara. House of Prayer wins a free kick in the center cycle.
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of games for House of Prayer. If you look at the way they play, they tend to actually take control from the wing, play not directly from the middle of the park. And today again, we're actually seeing that already with Joshua Obeng.
House of Prayer with a chance, and that's the first goal. Ridwan Abdullah Ridwan with the first goal for House of Prayer Football Academy, and it's a massive. You can see me looking at what is happening right now. House of Prayer Football Academy out of nothing seems to have not been so much in possession of the ball so far, but just one mistake at the back for VINOD and they were buried. You don't play against a quality side with so much attacking intent as our plays. Abdulkadri Imam is the man who got the goal. His first goal so far in the National Youth League for House of Prayer Football Academy. And House of Prayer again trying to see if they can exchange passes at the center of the defense. But right now, they've cleared their lines, almost losing possession in a very dangerous position. Yeah. And quickly, Nathaniel, we have House of Prayer right now leading by a goal to nothing. Seems to be a very lack of defensive awareness for VINOD. And like I said, you don't do that against this House of Prayer side. Possession to Abdul Ganil, displaying passes. Camtail, Monday James. John Monday looking for a bank, finds a bank. Akim Shuaib with deputizing leg back position. Omodara, good display of passes from House of Prayer. They need to be quicker to bring the ball out of the line. This is Egba. Egba now into the center circle. Omodara now with the ball. Omodara still in possession of the ball, casually giving it to the captain of the side. And that's a poor touch from the captain of the side, Monday John. And that is a good recovery from Omodara Olamilekon. Good recovery from the midfielder because the sloppy control from the captain, John Monday, almost cost the team a goal in that place. But it's a corner kick advantage to VINOD. As of Prayer also need to be careful here. Still early in the game. VINOD has a corner kick. And they are a dangerous side. They're top of the log in the Nigerian Youth League Cup. And this is also a dangerous one for House of Prayer. Defending third pieces and entering into the box. Corner has been taken deep into the other corner flag. Not the best of takes into the box. And House of Prayer trying to get clear the lines. Mohammed Abdurazak is the player for VINOD. He wins another foul. It's not good for House of Prayer. Winning foul is in offensive positions.
Yeah,
Giving the opponent opportunities to put in crosses into the box is
yeah,
not the best way.
absolutely. And the games I've seen so far, their defending of set piece is not excellent. In the last game, they played 2-2 here in the George Annie Stadium. They actually considered one of the goal via a set piece. They are not so clinical when it comes to set piece defending. So they have to do everything possible to make sure that such set piece don't get scored.
It's another inching gap of Vidnon goalkeeper. Oluyede is out, and that's a poor one from the goalkeeper. Miscommunication from Oluyede, complaining about the rays of the sun, and that's not good calculation from goalkeeper. When you come out to claim balls like that, you have to be sure and you have to get into the ball. After play again, losing possession deep into their own half. It's been great so far in the last 2 minutes from Vitnon. They've been reacting to conceding that early goal, and it's another advantage to us of prayer.
Yeah, if you look at the movement of the goalkeeper, from the onset, he wasn't sure of what he wanted to do. He went for the ball and didn't even communicate with the defenders. Went and lost the ball. If the player got that shot on target, would have been saying something else. And in early stages like this, especially when you are in the goal up, you make sure that everything you're doing, you're very careful. Else you concede a goal, and once you concede a goal, the momentum of the game swings.
And again, ball now with Oluyede Sadiq, goalkeeper of House of Prayer. Oluyede Sadiq trying to launch one forward, looking for a bang, cleared by Vitnod. Ball with Gani. Now, ball with Ridwan. Ridwan trying to look for Ahmed Sadiq. Ahmed Sadiq with another chance inside the box. But this time around, it's been cleared. Goalkeeper Sahid Rashid handles the ball cleanly, and it's free kick advantage to Vidnod. Vidnod needs to be very careful. The swift attacking play from our player, especially when switching from both flanks and looking for the runs in midfield to the likes of Abrugani, seems to have been dangerous and causing them a lot of problems so far in this game. Something they need to be careful about, especially when they attack, to be able to get numbers in behind to
Absolutely.
defend.
Yeah, I'm looking at their setup so far. Their midfield is not winning the second ball enough the way they should, and it's a concern for me. When I see teams not winning the second balls, I think it's something that opposition team usually, tends to exploit, and that is what they should be careful. Woodman FC needs to actually look at how they mark their second balls. The midfield is crowded without positional play, and that is causing them a lot of problem. Their width is also not well occupied, and that's why we've seen that in the first few minutes we've seen Egba Michael actually explore those wings and getting himself in good position.
Now it's free kick advantage as for Prayer Football Academy. This is not a great one for Vidnad because it's a long strike from Jonathan. It's been blocked. Has a very casual free kick from House of Prayer. It's been the first time we've seen them approach free kick like that. Usually, Egba Michael puts in an in swing into the box, or you have Abdullah Ridwan to come across the free kick. But it's another chance from a long throw, and Egba Michael is responsible to take the long throw, preparing himself to switch someone in. Egba Michael, one very long one into the 6 yard box, wins another corner kick in favor of House of Prayer Football Academy.
Yeah, I think one thing I've noticed with Egba Michael is his ability to actually take set pieces, not just long throws with the hand, but then his corner kicks are most times always very, very good, causing havoc for the opposition team. And this time he's trying to take an outswinger. Let's see what comes out of it.
Egba Michael setting himself up, preparing to put one into the box. House of Prayer lining himself perfectly. It's a good one into the edge to Shuaib Hakim. Nice layoff from Mujid. Mujid, the defender, still in possession. House of Prayer, dangerous inside the box. And eventually, Vitno cleared the lines. But House of Prayer coming again with another attack. Ball still on the air. Vitno trying to clear. Jonathan brings it down for House of Prayer, looking for someone in space to get the ball into. Eventually, finds Mujid. Mujid with an intringer inside the box. Looks for Shuaib. Shuaib could not bring the ball down for House of Prayer. And eventually, Vidno clears. Captain Monday James returning to Ridwan. Ridwan in possession of the ball, still going, trying to get himself into space, and eventually he gets into space, being named there, and it's very close one, almost at the edge of the box, and it's a free kick advantage to House of Prayer on the edge of the box. This Vietnam needs to be careful. They need to watch the spaces being given to House of Prayers in their defensive half.
Uh,
If this continues, these might be an humiliating scoreline for VINOD.
Absolutely, and if you look at the way they defend their one, there is no man taking on Olamilekon as well as Egba Michael. When you identify players that are dangerous in the opposition team, as an opposition team, what you need to do is make sure that you have players watching their movement. You could see how the ball was moving freely, and they had to commit that foul very close to the 18-yard box. If that had happened, let's say an inch further, we have been saying something else.
This is still a dangerous position. You have Abdullah Ridwan lined up for this, and that's straight into the wall. Penalty appeal from the fans on the House of Prayer player, but the referee says it's close to it. And that's not a penalty. With that off, train advantage to House of Prayer. Egba Michael takes the throw in quickly to Captain Monday, to goalkeeper Oluyede. Oluyede trying to find Akim Shuaib. That's a long one. Akim Shuaib could not bring it down. So far, so good in this game. Obeng has not been able to get himself gradually into the game. And but we've seen the best of Abdullah Ridwan from the left hand side, Egba Michael, Abdulkani, and also Mondara Olamilekon in midfield for House of Prayer. And hopefully, Vitno can get themselves into possession. The likes of Kundayo Michael, Abdusalam Mohammed, and also Abdulaziz Rune have not been able to get themselves gradually into the game for Vitnad. House of Prayer again, trying to hold possession in the center circle. Ridwan lost it. Abdulganiu charging forward to see if they can win it back. Wins it back immediately to Ahmed Sadiq in the box. Ahmed PT Smaka. Ball now still with Egba Michael. Egba Michael setting himself out for an empty where, but again it has been clawed. His crosses into the box today have not been so excellent as it used to. But before that, you have Vitnod on the attack. Omoda trying to chat back. He wins the ball back neatly. And you have Majid with the ball. Majid switching play, trying to look for Egba, trying to look for Bank. But unfortunately, the ball could not connect properly with a bank. You have Vidno with the ball in the center circle. Vidno just trying to hold possession of the ball. And you have Abdul with a tackle in the center circle. So that's free kick advantage to Vidno. And that's good play from Mohamed Razak, who's trying to bring his team into the game. He's been struggling to come into the game.
Absolutely. So we have not really seen enough of Kabiru, and also I've not seen what Aruna have been able to do. If these players are actually up to the task, I think we'll be seeing Vitma FA doing much better in this half. The midfield is not functioning, and I think the coach is on the touchline trying to give them instruction, trying to make sure that they have their positional play right.
Let's also inform you that Vietnam are still beaten so far in the Nigerian Youth League Cup. They are top of the log assistants as at the end of last match day. If they lose today, that could ensure that they will increase their top of the table clash, and it could be that Aso Prayer Football Academy will move back to the top of the table. So this is a potential top of the table clash between both sides. And while you're witnessing such attacking and exciting game from both sides. But as it stands right now, you have Vitnod in possession of the ball, Vitnod in space in the central circle. You have Ekundayo Michael, the man who has been crying for him to bring himself into the game. But that's a poor pass from Ekundayo Michael, trying to find Ikpe Elios. But fortunately, he could not get him. Hakim Shuaib in possession for House of Prayer. Omodara pointing his hand to Abdul Ganiu with another late run inside the box, win possession, hoping to bring Obeng into the game, and it's a throwing again to House of Prayer.
Yeah, I think one thing House of Prayer must do is to make sure that Elben comes alive. When you come here and when you watch House of Prayer play, most of the play comes from the wing of Obeng as well as Egba Michael. But today Obeng has been largely ineffective so far in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game. So I think they need to work on that because their strength comes from the wing play, and we're seeing another long throw again coming in from Obe.
Over 90-minute play in this game, Egba Michael is preparing himself to take another long throw from House of Prayer, and the players are getting themselves ready. Abdullah Ridwan going into the first pole. It's a nice one into the box. It's being cleared by Vitno. House of Prayer trying to get the second ball from Abdul Majid, but it's a free kick advantage to Vitno. And House of Prayer rushing to get themselves back into position. Vidno not rushing to take the free kick, taking their time. Goalkeeper Rashid Sunday taking his time to take the free kick. I think he's preparing to go long.
Yeah,
And it's a short one quickly from the goalkeeper of VINOD. The nice one back to Matthew Promise. Matthew Promise from the left hand side, trying to switch play this time around, hoping to get a chance. I think he's a corner kick in that place. It's corner kick advantage to VINOD. It's nice ball into the box from Matthew Promise, but Captain Monday John of
yeah,
House of Prayer put that out for a corner kick.
yeah.
It's not
You
good for House of Prayer. A player is also down. I think that's Abdegani. Abdegani is down, touching his hamstring. This is not good news for Coach Benga.
Yeah, if you look at the set piece play right there, it's actually a tactical one. You could see that Vitman FC FA were trying to take a man out, and that was what they did successfully. They had to invite Jonathan out of the defense setup for House of Prayer, and that made sure that they were now having more players in the half of House of Prayer, and that was what allowed them to have that perfect cross in that was defended really well by the captain John Monday for a corner kick.
It's been very calm weather right here in the Lorry, unlike what we witnessed earlier between the game between Kwara Football Academy earlier. But right now, it's been a calm weather. The weather condition seems to be very suitable for football. And you're seeing the players expressing themselves better on the pitch. A corner kick taken again. Oloyede comes and it's being cleared on the touchline. Second miscommunication from Oloyede. And this time around, I think he needs to be careful. I spoke about it in the first half. In the first attempt, he is not getting the timing, the flight of the ball, the area balls constantly. He needs to be careful with the timing, and that almost cost them an equalizer. But it's a great line clearance from Abdul Hakim Shuaib for House of Prayer, ensuring he stretches his leg to get that out. That could have been inside, but this time around is perfect timing. Getting the ball first, goalkeeper imposing himself aerially. Good play from Vitnot from the right hand side. Another poor in-swing cross. This time around is throwing advantage to House of Prayer.
Now, I always have issues when players go out on long injuries and you don't introduce them gradually. But how do you do that with a goalkeeper? It's really difficult introducing a goalkeeper gradually into the match. I still feel, when players come out from injury like this, you introduce them, giving them minutes before they start games. We've seen two miscommunication and wrong timing of Oluyide so far in the game, and we hope that he doesn't continue this way, because once the Vitman FA discovers that he is a weak link, they will continue to exploit
And
that
this
position.
Vitman also on the attack. This is another chance for Pittman. They are into goal, and this could be the equalizer. But it's another corner kick. I think right now, so player need to be careful. Vitman right gradually going into the game. The likes of Ekunda Michael, Abdusalam Mohammed, Harun Abdulaziz in midfield are beginning to connect, and this is now getting to create more problems for House of Prayer. And they are losing a lot of ball from the center cycle. Like you said earlier, Obeng has not been able to get himself into the game from the right hand flank, and the likes of Ridwan and Egba Michael, who were so devastating in the early part of this game, have not been able to get possession very well. But again, declare after prayer in possession of the ball. Omodara trying to keep the ball, draw foul, but unfortunately he could not. Captain Monday.
Yeah, I think another person that I've not seen impose his authority, trying to set up the defense very well, is Monday. He needs to talk to this defense line, because so far so good, they've not been really convincing. Because for your goalkeeper to be, for your team to be considering a lot of infringement, it means that you also have a lot of work to do as well.
And now this is Egba Michael with his straight line run. Ridwan looking to find is Egba Michael in the box. And Egba Michael, not sure if he's trying to score himself or if he's trying to get the ball into Obeng to score. But eventually the ball has been cleared, and House of Prayer Football Academy have possession deep into their own half again. Beautiful play from Abdul and Ridwan. Ridwan still with the ball. Trying to find Michael.
Yeah,
But that's an infringement.
that was
Free kick to House of Prayer.
that was one too many from Abdul Ganiu. When you're playing with your teammates, play with your closest man. If you watch what is happening right now, Vitman FA is trying to take control of the game. If you don't play with your closest man, when you lose control of the game, it becomes very devastating for you. I'm looking at what is happening right now.
And this is another chance for Arsenal player. Ahmed Sadiq with another chance inside the box. And Ridwan trying to get on his favorite left foot. So hoping he could shoot. And this is a bang! Close! Denied by the crossbar bang. The first time he will get himself into this game. He's been denied by the crossbar. Nice one touch with his right foot. Trying to fire, beating the goalkeeper through the roof of the net. But unfortunately, crashes with the crossbar.
And
Still won't go to nothing in favor of Arsenal Prayer Football Academy.
when you're playing, when you want to keep people offside, you need to watch how you're doing it, because that was a beautiful 1-2 play by House of Prayer. You know, allowing Olamide come from behind to go get that ball there. Unfortunately for House of Prayer, they would have been licking their lips, saying they are 2 goals up now. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Now they need to defend because this is VINOD trying to impose another attack from the right hand side. Shuaib, and it's been cleared again by Monday. Gradually, the trio of Monday Abdelmajid trying to impose and grow into this game, but VINOD has also improved gradually. Kabiru Abubakar with the ball in the center cycle, floats one into the box, looking for Matthew Promise, but also prayer eventually clears.
Yeah, the clearance are not convincing so far. And if you
Mohamed
look,
Omar with the ball. And this is another great in-swinger to Ekundayo Michael. House of Prayer need to defend this very well. And both the goalkeeper and also Monday came for the ball, making it so difficult. That's another ball looking for Matthew Promise for VINOD. And the ball is being cleared. House of Prayer need to be more coordinated in terms of their communication defensively. And I think the midfield lineup also need to reduce the number of gap between themselves and the defenders. There's been a lot of holes between the midfield and the defenders, ensuring that VINOD are receiving a lot of ball in between the lines.
yeah,
This is not the best way to defend.
that's what I was saying earlier. If you look at, if you want to win games, you don't play with so much space with your defenders, especially when you are a goal up and the opposition team is trying as much as possible to, you know, come back into the game.
That's another infringement for VINOD, and they have another infringement deep into their own half. For Beng, he's not happy. He thought he should have been given a foul in that play, but the referee ref play on, and eventually resulting when VINOD wins themselves a free kick deep into their own half. They're setting themselves up to play the free kick. Kabiru Abubakar wins the free kick. The man who is growing gradually into this game. It's another long one into the position of Egba Michael. Egba Michael trying to make himself strong, did that comfortably and wins himself a train deep into the half of House of Prayer. It's another train. The referee says no, it's not a train. I think it's a free kick.
It's an infringement on Egba Michael. The player was trying to, you know, push him aside with his hand instead of going for the ball.
It's a free kick. Abdelmajid lays the free kick for Oloyede. Oloyede trying to tell Abdelmajid stay in front of the striker Abdesalam Ahmed. And now getting themselves in position, preparing for a long one. Poor kick from Oloyede there, but lucky to have the ball still in possession with Amodara. Amodara finds Ahmed Sadiq. Ahmed Sadiq trying to find Obeng. Obeng controls beautifully, trying to beat his marker. Did that very well. He's into the box. And now trying to cut by into the edge of the box. But unfortunately, none of the midfielders were arriving. Abubakar with a good control loses possession. Abdelmajid also fighting back to gain possession. It's an infringement and wins a free kick in the center circle. Referee coming out with his yellow card, and there's the first caution of the game for the center referee. It's not a great play from Ude Chumambo, who received a yellow card.
Absolutely, that was unnecessary. You are at the center circle. You have all your men behind your goalpost. You're the one attacking. There was no need for you to, you know, hold that player behind. It was so obvious. I think he's unfortunate in that level. And for me, I think maybe from assessment in the first 25 to 30 minutes, he should be taken off in the second half.
Yeah, he's not been so convincing so far in this game. This is another chance for Egba Michael to put in one of his good crosses. He gets one into the box. Abdulgani with the header. It's another chance for House of Prayer, but eventually VINOD clears. They come again, trying to find Abubakar, but Mujid intercept. Ball back with Egba Michael. Egba Michael also is being intercepted. Wins back possession. Egba Michael trying to look for someone in the center circle. Ridwan could not win the ball. Ball right now with VINOD. Infringement, says the referee, and it's a free kick to House of Prayer from the center cycle. You can see Abdullah Ridwan from the collision with Abdulaziz Ridwan. Abdulaziz Aruna still not recovered from it, but play taken quickly by House of Prayer from the center cycle. Jonathan gets the ball to Hakim Shuaib to Sadiq trying to fire up the canoe. Could not bring it down, and VINOD come again with another attack of their own. Monday kicks it out, throwing advantage to VINOD, and House of Prayer could get themselves to regroup. But quick on being played immediately by VINOD. You can see them; they realize that they are a goal down and trying to get back themselves back into the game, despite being visitors in this game. VINOD still have possession deep into House of Prayers out. Good defensive display there from Hakim. Obeng, poor first touch, relinquish possession back to VINOD, and they are trying to get into the byline for VINOD. It gets into the byline, that is another chance, but again, it's a poor cross into the box. For Ridwan, trying to find Egba Michael. Egba Michael was beaten to the ball back into the half of House of Prayer. Ridwan eventually clears. Sadiq trying to
Now,
contest for the ball, and this is a poor clearance. Sadiq still chasing the ball down. He's been doing well so far in this game, chasing the defenders, showing that they are fully under pressure. And House of Prayer trying to win the ball back. Infringement, says the central referee, and it's a free kick to VINOD. Poor challenge here from Abdullah Ridwan on Matthew Promise. Matthew Promise seems odd. Wins a free kick for VINOD deep into their own half.
absolutely, and this is why I think House of Prayer needs to be improved. As we said before, the midfield is not connecting. The likes of Abdul Ganiu, the likes of Jonathan have not coordinated. Ridwan also has not been convincing so far in this game. They need to take charge of the midfield. They are losing the midfield battle so badly, and Egba Michael has also not been able to give those big point passes.
And there you have it again. House of Prayer winning back possession. Ridwan with the ball, trying to switch it, looking for Obeng. Obeng again with the chase. Kabiru Abubakar is the man to defend. Obeng could not beat him this time around, and he's still pressing the goalkeeper Sunday Rashid, who clears clearly. Jonathan finds Obeng is in an offside position, and goalkeeper Rashid Sunday gathers. Another attack from VINOD. Abdulhakim wins the ball. Referee says no, that's not one cleanly, and that's another infringement. Free kick advantage to VINOD.
Yeah, one thing we must know is the speed at which Michael actually takes to chase down the ball. If you look at the ball that was on his on his side, it was really not the best of balls, but he got there and tried to get something out of it, but unfortunately that didn't come.
It's another cross into the box from VINOD. As a prayer clears, Ridwan trying to bring the ball out, looking for Abdul Ganiu could not bring the ball down. Very frustrated with himself because he has been losing possession. He's only been active in this game for the first 10-15 minutes. Since the first 10-15 minutes, Abdul Ganiu has been struggling to get himself into the game.
Yeah.
And VINOD with the ball. That is the man we've been talking about. Ekundayo Michael brings the ball comfortably in the center circle. Here you have Abdulaziz Haruna charging forward. Matthew Promise with a cross into the box. And that's not a great clearance from Hakim Shuaib. But goalkeeper Oluwedesodi gathers comfortably. Trying to set Egba Michael into motion. Takes a step back. Now looking for Ridwan. Ridwan trying to find Egba Michael. Egba Michael wins his throw in for House of Prayer. The pace of this game has been exciting. It has been delighting for the fans at the Rashidi Yekini Mimbo Stadium right here in Ilorin,
Yeah,
in Kwara.
that's what you get when two good teams are going head to head against each other. This is you can
Sadiq
see
with
that
the ball.
both
So-
sides are actually testing themselves out.
And it's another great ball from Ridwan trying to find Obeng, and Obeng trying to beat his marker there, Mohamed Umar. But unfortunately, it's a good sliding tackle from Mohamed Umar to displace Obeng. It's another throwing advantage to House of Prayer. I think Ridwan have been doing a good job in trying to switch on play from his own side, looking for Obeng in space, knowing that he's a great player in terms of getting the ball into space and in one-on-one position. Unfortunately, except from one time where we've seen the best of Obeng, we've not been able to see him in those one-on-one position. But here comes another advantage for House of Prayer, where you have Egba Michael holding onto the ball, preparing himself for the long throw, and Abdullah Ridwan trying to get himself into the next pool, get the first header into the crowd, but unfortunately, VINOD again clears. Amadara clears again for House of Prayer and being chased here by Akeem.
Yeah, I think it's a tactical play because if you look at the game, it has not really been going towards the left hand side. That keeping Obeng and Joshua Obeng purposely without any players, any work. The ball has been actually not been on that side just to make sure that he gets space, gets into spaces and runs at the defenders. If he gets those tactics really well, I think that would be like a real advantage for them.
And now this is House of Prayer having the ball in the center circle. Egba Michael switching straight to Ridwan. Ridwan finding Egba Michael. Egba Michael again in space. Now finds Ahmed Sadiq. Ahmed Sadiq struggles to get the ball down and loses possession with VINOD. Defender trying to get possession. Wins an infringement there. Mohamed Razak and his free kick advantage VINOD. Sloppy performance. Sloppy tackle there from Ahmed Sadiq and get himself into the booking.
Yeah, I think that was unnecessary. The two yellow cards we've seen in this game so far from both of the attackers are usually not yellow card that should be gotten. You know, the player was in control of the game. It was in deep in his own half. You didn't need to make that tackle, but then he went not for the ball, rather for the player, and that earned him a yellow card.
I think House of Prayer need to find a way to get Abdugani into the game. As much as he was involved in the first 15 minutes, Abdugani have been a bit quiet for the last 20 to 25 minutes of this game, which is not the best one. Amadara now finds himself in a comfortable position where he would love to find himself, but unfortunately, sloppy display from him and he's been dispossessed. And you have Vidnot, bring the ball high. Ikwe Elvis. Ikwe Elvis still with the ball, being chased down by Ridwan and finds the ball to Ekundayo Michael. Ekundayo Michael being dispossessed by Jonathan. Vidnos still with the ball in the center circle, back with Ekundayo Michael, finding himself in acres of space and in an attempt to try and switch play to find Image ball, but unfortunately could not get the right space. Ball back in possession with Monday.
That was actually a very bad pass because you had man advantage in attack. House of Prayer were having like 6 men already in the opposition half without this a corresponding number in the defense, which made it very very easy for you to penetrate. And then you decided to waste that pass. For me, that was a waste of a pass rather than trying to create something.
Now, House of Prayer gradually getting themselves back into position because they're getting back up the Ganu to dictate the play and the win a corner kick. Another great entering from Egba Michael, but unfortunately, Ahmed Sadiq could not connect with your header. It's another corner kick from House of Prayer. That is why I said earlier, the more they get Abdul Ghani involved in play, the more it's easier for them to progress from defense into attack. But so far, Abdul Ghani have not been able to impose himself for the majority of the minutes we've seen in this game. But for the few times we've seen his flashes, he's been able to carry his team into playing effectively.
Absolutely, and I'm also looking at the setup for the corner kick. This is more like going for the second boss because there is nobody attacking the first corner.
And now he's taken shortly, quick one there from Obeng and Egba trying to escape the challenge from Ives Ikpe. And you have Vidnot bringing themselves out. Ekundayo Michael. Ekundayo Michael finds Abdusalam Mohammed. Abdusalam Mohammed still holding the ball, being marked by Captain Monday. You have Ekpe Elvis. Ekpe Elvis trying to turn. Captain Monday dispossesses, and referee says that's not the right way to get back the ball, and it's a free kick advantage to Vidnot. To the dismay of some of the fans at the stadium here, who feels that's a clean challenge, and already Ikpe Elvis is already losing possession of the ball, but the central referee has the final say, and this is a free kick advantage to Vietnam.
Absolutely. Well, I think when you are a player in that situation like Elvis, that's what you want to get. You want to get the best out of what you've gotten. You're already losing the ball. If you allow the ball to be lost without getting an infringement, it means that your team will get to defend. But with that, slight fall, and then he made use of it, and he got himself a free kick.
Kabiru Abubakar takes one, and it's just some inches away from the crossbar. Eventually, Oluwede has it covered, and it's goal kick advantage to House of Prayer. Oluwede communicating with Abdul seems not been happy with a bit of the defensive display, probably from the midfielders, Oluwede. And that's one of the things you get from goalkeepers, the ability to be able to communicate with your teammate. Poor pass there from Abdul Majid, looking for Egba Michael, returning possession back to Vietnam.
Absolutely, and not in a very good position against in their own half, and in the era where the long throws have actually returned to football, you don't want to get throws in those kind of
good tackle from Abdul Majid. Abdul Majid still going still going up front. He's a defender and he's still pushing up front. And unfortunately, is a poor pass there from um, Omodara to find Obeng. It's
Yeah,
not. It's to the dismay of the Majid, who feels they've covered a lot of ground for them to just have that misplaced pass. But now you have Vidno trying to use the spaces that have been left by the defenders. Vidno still holding possession in House of Prayer half. Captain Monday clears. The referee says it's a train advantage to House of Prayer.
yeah, I think currently the game is evenly balanced. Vid not trying to, take control of the game, making sure they get that equalizer. Meanwhile, House of Prayer, on the other hand, are trying to make sure that they establish a comfortable lead by adding another goal. They are not sitting back, they are not relaxing, but I have questions, I have concerns with their midfield. It's not really well coordinated, and their strength has not been used today. Their strength, which has been the wing play, have not been effectively utilized, and that's why you see that they are struggling. They are still struggling in this game.
I think that's probably due to some of the underwhelming performances we've seen from the likes of Benga and also from Ridwan on the right hand side. But as it is right now, they win a throw in deep into the half of Vidnod. And this throw in, unlike the ones being taken by Egba, is going to be taken by Kim Schweib. I think this is another way. Yeah, this is another tactic. This one is planning to go short, not long, and they go short. Finds Obeng. Obeng wins another free kick, another silly free kick in dangerous positions. And I don't know why we have a lot of this today. I know there's a lot of anxiety. It's a top of the table clash. Majority, these two teams do not actually want to relinquish the top of the table to themselves because as it stands right now, Vitnot at top of the table, they are unbeaten. They are losing by one goal to nothing, which means the table right now sees House of Prayer sitting pretty comfortable on the table. And they've just ended, if this game end like this, means they have ended Vietnam their first defeat in the League Cup so far since the start in September. So you can see why this game has been tense. Goal taken quickly by Obeng, and that's just missed by a whisker because Egba Michael was close to getting an header, free header into that. Unfortunately, he could not go. Jonathan not happy with Egba Michael not getting his head into the header
Yeah,
because that could have cost them another counter attack.
absolutely. That, when you're playing games like this, especially with team which are really really good, like Vidma FA, you need to actually go for every header, and you need to be as strong as you can, not just leaving headers for your teammates.
And you have it not again with another attack. Ekundayo Michael, he's been so instrumental in this game. Finds himself in space again. Ekundayo Michael. And Mujib wins back possession. Referee blows an infringement. You have Ahmed Sadiq on the ground, groaning in pain, calling on the medics. You can see the medics getting themselves into position. So far, his House of Prayer leading by a goal to nothing. Goal scored by Ahmed Sadiq. His fourth goal so far in this tournament, Ahmed Sadiq. And there's the man going down. You can see Coach Benga calling the players and trying to call the midfielders to give them a bit of instruction, which I think is well needed. I'm surprised Abdulkanu is not one of those players being called up because I feel he should be one of those players being given instructions. He has so far just played the moment of this game and have not been able to grow into the game. But it still won't go to nothing. Both technical crew dishing instructions to the players. The Vidna coach also not relying on Coach Adebute Kazim, giving instruction to the players, ensuring that they get them concentration in place. About 44 minutes play, just few minutes into halftime, and you can understand why both technical crew are obviously dishing instruction to the players and demanding maximum concentration because we are close to halftime. Free kick taken quickly by Vidnad. Olede and this very well, trying to look for Ahmed. Ahmed right now in possession of the ball, just coming back into the pitch of play. Ahmed holds the ball cleanly, wait for the teammates to join him, and trying to hold on to possession. Finds Ridwan. Ridwan switches the ball. Omodara brings it to his chest, bringing the ball back clearly. Omodara now switching to his right place and trying to find a shot on goal, but unfortunately, That's a poor effort to go. That was way wide of target,
Yeah.
and it's goal kick advantage
if
to VINOD.
if you are in positions like that, I think it's better for you to call your players along, bring your players to play along with them instead of wasting that opportunity. That was a shot wasted more than a shot taken. So for me, when you're playing a game that you're not so much in control, when you have opportunities like that, you make sure you use every opportunity you have.
And that's another infringement, unfortunately, for Asopria. A minute of added time have been added into this game. A minute of added time. That's a bit of scare from Asopria. At some moment there, it feels like VINOD will get their equalizer. But a very dish national tackle from Modara ensures that the ball hits the ham of Ekunda Michael,
Yeah.
which means it's another infringement for Asopria. And they have a chance to clear the line from this free kick deep into their own half. Oluyede takes it long, looking for Ridwan. Ridwan could not get the other, and the referee says halftime play. It won't go to nothing between both sides so far. What's your summary of this game, Tandel? It's been
Well,
an entertaining game from both sides.
absolutely. This is one of the games you want to come and watch over and over again. Vitma FC actually giving it all. I think that was an error that led to a goal. If not for that error, I think they've been good in this game. House of Prayer as well. When you're a go up and the opposition is trying as much as possible to, come back into the game, is really difficult. But the defense have actually stayed very composed, led by the captain, John Monday. I think they are doing a good man job. But again, the goalkeeper, especially the goalkeeper trainer needs to talk with Oluyede, who has actually been growing into the game gradually. His first two attempts in getting the ball, especially area balls, were really, really poor. But right now, I think the game is evenly balanced for the second half.
It's halftime between both sides. Also, Pereira Football Academy are playing host right there at the Rashidi Yakini Membo Stadium in the Jenna Stadium in Ilorin, Kwara State. They lead by a goal to nothing against VINOD. Before this game, VINOD at top of the log, they're unbeaten. But with this defeat, House of Prayer Football Academy find themselves top of the log and inflicting their first defeat to VINOD Football Academy. Welcome back to the second encounter, second part of this clash between House of Prayer and VINOD Football Academy. Just in a moment earlier, we saw House of Prayer with a golden chance to double the lead, but unfortunately, Abdul Ghani couldn't get the ball on target. Beautiful free kick from Egba Daniel. And as it stands, still one goal to nothing in favor of House of Prayer Football Academy. Goalkeeper Oluide in possession of the ball, takes his time, takes his calmness, trying to look for someone to connect the ball to. Goalkeeper Oluide still with the ball, decides to go long, trying to look for Modara. Modara could not get the ball. Vitned with the ball right now. Ekundayo brings the ball down in midfield. Ekundayo trying to find someone to, and it's a chance. Double save from Oluide. Double save from Oluide to ensure that House of Prayer are still in this game. And that's a wake up call for the own side. This is another chance. Oluide and now makes it the third save, to the third save in the face of the game. Goalkeeper already called into question since the beginning of the second half.
Yeah,
He's down. He's down. He's injured. He's injured. He's done his beat, ensuring that he still protects the one goal lead.
yeah, that's what you get when you have like not so great a first half, and then you come back, you try to prove to everybody that you still that number one goalkeeper that should be trusted. That was brilliant save. That was nothing short of a world class save for me, especially the second ball. He came out and he made himself really really big, making it difficult for the striker to get a shot at goal. I think it was Elvis there, the number 13 jersey with the boy. He got that shot, but the goalkeeper, Oluyide, made himself so big. I think that's what you get when you're that good in front of goal.
Four shots was taken by Ekundayo Michael for Vitnad, and Ikwe Elvis also tried to double up, rebound the ball inside the back of the net. Like Channel said, Oluyide making himself big, stretching his body wide, ensuring that he made the second save, and eventually House of Prayer have time to regroup. Well, eventually the ball got into Abdusalam Mohammed, who had a nice strike for the third phase of the game, and the goalkeeper again making showing good reflexes for the third save. House of Prayer still lead by a goal to 19. Goodness for them is the fact that Oluede is back on his feet. Oluede is back on his feet, and I think he's having issues with his arm. The medics are still checking him, but the goalkeeper seems to be fine just for the moment. Let's hope this is another test from this area ball. Let's see what the threat for this area ball brings. Tells us the physical condition of Oluede. It's a deep one from Matthew Promise. And again, House of Prayer clears. Jonathan is the man being fouled inside the box. And that's an infringement for House of Prayer. They have a chance to clear their lines. Oluede taking his time. House of Prayer need to be careful. You're just a goal ahead in this game. And don't forget, you're playing against a very decent side who are currently top of the log.
I
And that means that they are yet to win a game in this tournament. That means you're playing against a very decent side.
yeah, I for me, I will want to say, despite the communication and then the changes from the manager Egbenga David in the first half, I still did see a lot of changes, especially in the setup in this game. I'm seeing about four players behind the ball. I'm seeing about four again at, attacking the opposition box. The middle of the park is left empty. That is not how you win games, because the second balls will get to drop to the opposition and it becomes a really big problem for you.
And now that's another poor clearance from Hakim Shuaib. And Opuni can get it cleared properly. He clears it properly. But again, Omodara could not get the ball down. Obeng trying to get possession of the ball, but again he misses possession to Usman Kokola. Usman Kokola gets the ball to Abdulaziz Aruna. Abdulaziz Aruna wins a free kick in the middle of the park for Vinod. Vinod, Ekundayo Michael trying to find his marker. And there's a penalty appeal in the box for Vinod. But the referee says that's a free kick advantage to House of Prayer Football Academy. The coach of Vinod, who is on the touchline, Agrebite Kazim, could not believe his eyes. He could not believe what is happening. He was convinced that's a penalty. He was convinced his striker, Abdul Salam Mohammed, was brought down inside the box. but the
Well,
referee says there's a foul before the ball gets to Abdul Salam, and that's
abs-
free kick advantage to Asopria.
absolutely. There was an infringement right before the ball got to Abdul Salam in the 18-yard box, and I think sometimes as managers or as fans we tend to be very very emotional, and that's why sometimes the referee job is not easy. I think he got that call really really spot on for me.
Spot on, and as the opinion of Daniel, as it is right now, as of prayer, as as a throw in deep into the half of VINOD FA, trying to be taken by Egba Michael, who's taking his time and preparing to take a long throw as usual. He's got into the ball, ready to take a long throw. And you can see the VINOD players getting themselves in numbers inside the box,
and that
hoping to
is
defend this.
and that's where you have a tactical change. Instead of going long, why not go close to a certain Abdul Ganiyu who can take a long shot out of the 18-yard box. I think doing everything, doing same thing.
And it's a goal! Eventually, it's a goal. Eventually, it's a goal. You're about to say that should be a tactical change.
Yeah,
But Kim
absolutely.
Shuaib, a long throw from Egba Michael. They've been trying that for from some time in this game and also in this tournament. Eventually, he paid off. That's a long throw from Egba Michael straight to the head of Akim Shuaib. Knocks that to the crossbar. The defender Ekundayo Michael, who is at the top of the line, failed to clear the ball, and eventually the ball ends at the back of the net.
For
And we must say it's poor defending.
poor
from Vidna.
defending. It's not a goal for me. It's actually poor defending that actually led to that goal. It's not like there was a tactical throw in or there was a tactical change anywhere that actually led to the goal. You can't have like five defenders in the area and then you still have players just for still being emptied, not marked. That was really really poor from not FA, and I think they need to do better. This should just show them a lesson that you don't defend that way.
Now they've considered two goals in this tournament in this game due to poor defensive error. First in the early part of the game, and second also in the early part of the second half. And that shows you they could have considered another one at the beginning of the second half, but Abdul Ganiu could not rebound the ball inside the back of the net. You thought they've learned from that, but unfortunately they've not. Another attack from Asopria, long throw from Egba Michael, free header from Shuaib Abkim, and that leads into the back of the net. Two goals to nothing advantage to House of Prayer. And from this position, you want to say House of Prayer, all they needed to do is just keep doing what they're doing, remain compact, and hopefully see out this game. But like they say in the game of football, it is not over until it's over. So there's no reason to rest on your house. Abdul Mujid clears and the ball in the center circle. Vidnod controlling possession with Aruna. Aruna trying to look for Ikpe Elvis. Ikpe Elvis loses and Abdulmajid goes high to clear. I
Yeah.
think Abdulmajid have been a rock in defense today for
Ab-
us of prayer.
Absolutely, the games have actually been here to actually witness. John Monday have actually been the marshal of the defense, but today it's a different ball game. He has taken charge of that defense line and making sure that he gets every call right. His area duels have actually been spot on as well as his ground duels, and that shows that the team is growing as a unit, not just individuals. The day Monday John is not in top form, I think that's when you know that this team is actually a complete team.
And again, also prayer in possession of the ball. Ridwan trying to find Egba Michael, but he could not. Referee says there's an infringement in that place, and that's a free kick to House of Prayer. I think one thing Vitner have to be wary about is the spaces they're giving to House of Prayer in pockets. House of Prayer is easier to get the ball into pocket of spaces, and when you have players like Ridwan getting the ball in pocket of spaces, they know how to play in tight spaces, and that's dangerous. House of Prayer again with another in swing into the box. This is both with Abdul cuts back. Monday at the edge of the box. Unfortunately, you ask the question that how did he get himself into that position? But quickly, Vidnod restarting the play again. They are in urgency to find a way back into this game, and you understand because if the game stays like this, it means they have their first defeat since the start of the league in September, and it means they will relinquish the top of the table to Asopria Football Academy. Great challenge from the marshal of the defense, Monday, the captain. Winning the great challenge there, but unfortunately, Ridwan could not bring the ball down. Vidnod still in possession of the ball, deep into the half of Asopria. Egba Michael puts the ball down. Unfortunately, he tries to beat his marker. Referee says that's the wrong way to get the ball, and it's a free kick to House of Prayer.
Yeah, that was harsh. You don't throw your hand like that, knowing fully well that there is a man at your back. It was intentional, and if I was to be the referee, I think that should call for a caution. You don't do that. And again, let's look at how well they've actually been able to use the wing. If you look at how House of Prayer have actually come into this game in the second half, they are trying more to use the wings. But I'm still having concern with their midfield. Look at the setup right now. There is just one player in the middle of the park that can actually go for the second balls, and that is not good enough, because if you lose the second ball, that actually gives your defense a lot of work to do, where you already have four players in the opposition half trying to track back, and when you're defending from a running position, it becomes so difficult for you.
Now you have Aruna with the ball in the center circle for VINOD. He's been controlling things in midfield for VINOD, and Ridwan tracking back nicely. That's a great cross into the box, almost causing problems for House of Prayer, and it's a goal kick advantage to House of Prayer. Goal kick advantage House of Prayer. Goal kick taken quickly by Oloyede, looking for Obeng. Obeng, who has not been able to impose himself into this game, trying to beat 1, 2, 3 marks of his marker, but eventually he's been dispossessed. Ekundayo find himself in space, and that's a penalty, I think, from the central referee. Is that a penalty?
Yeah, it's a penalty. It was a reckless challenge. Didn't get the ball, and then the referee has pointed to the spot. I think somebody that needs to go out of this game has not been able to impose his authority in this game. He lost the ball that led to the penalty. Obeng Joshua, not really been convincing so far. And if this goal goes in, I think VINOD are actually back into this game again. They know that they can actually, if they press more, they can actually get something from this game.
Abdusalam Mohammed seems to be the player with the responsibility to take this penalty. He's going to be facing Oloyede Sadiq. Oloyede Sadiq, who is just coming back from a knee injury, is now facing the penalty against Abdusalam Mohammed. Abdusalam Mohammed being cheered by the bench of VINOD. They really want to get back into this game. Oloyede trying to size himself off to see if they can save the game, and that's a beautiful penalty into the top corner. Game back on for VINOD. 2-1 the scoreline as it stands. 2 to House of Prayer, and VINOD got themselves back in this game.
Yeah, I think in the last game here in George Ani Stadium, we saw House of Prayer lost a 2-goal lead. They don't want to be in that situation today. They want to actually see this game off. Maybe with a one more goal, scoring one more goal, making sure that they are in a comfortable position. I was talking about how they are not winning the second balls in the middle of the park, and that is what is costing them. And you can see that again. And that second ball again was lost, and there's nobody trying to make sure that they control that game.
Now it's throwing advantage to VINOD. They are trying everything to see if they can come back into this game. The coach, Adegbite Kazim, bringing in Sani Mohammed, and Sani Mohammed is replacing Uda Chimabo. I think that's another very good and efficient save. We've not seen so much from Uda Chimabo since the start of this game. And you want to expect that Coach Benga, who is on the bench for House of Prayers, will be also looking at substitutions, especially looking at the underwhelming performance from Obeng, and also even looking at the way Abdulgani has been performing so far since the start of the second half, especially the midfield. That's something where you really want to address. Yeah. Where you are losing a lot of the ball, Ekundayo Michael is having joint himself, same as Aruna for the midfield of VINOD. But assistance is 2-1 in favor of House of Prayer, and they have a free kick deep into their own half.
Yeah, this is where you take tactical changes, and sometimes not just tactical changes, personal changes actually gets to come in as much as Obeng Joshua is a great winger, he has not shown that in today's game, and because of that, I think he needs to be taken out of this game just to inject fresh blood into the game, make sure that they are back in control of the wing. Look at.
And that's another one. He held too long to the ball. Ekundayo Michael, and that gave an advantage to House of Prayer. It's a long one from Omodara, We've also not seen much from Omodara today.
Yeah, Omodora have largely been quiet. In the last game, I saw him controlling the middle of the park, but today, I think what we are seeing from the Vidman midfield, the midfield trio of Umar, Abubakar, as well as Elvis, have actually been able to curtail his efficiency in the middle of the park, and that's why we've not seen so much from him.
The ball in possession with House of Prayer. Egba Michael taking it back to Sadiq. Sadiq with a long one. Ridwan cannot get the ball down, and in possession VINOD. VINOD seems to have the initiative assistant. House of Prayer preparing their own substitution.
Yeah, I think these changes were long overdue. Looking at the likes of Mubarak as well as Murtala, those are two players that are very fast on the ball and can finish as well. These two players, I think, when they come into this game, Murtala will come into the wing, and I think as well as Mubarak, those guys have actually been a very good addition, especially when they come off the bench for House of Prayer.
So it's a free kick advantage in a dangerous position for House of Prayer, won by Ekundayo Michael. He has been fantastic alongside Abdulaziz Aruna in midfield for Vidna. They've shown a bit of composure, they've shown good display in midfield, and it's giving House of Prayer a lot of problems in their midfield, especially knowing the distance between the midfield trio of Jonathan, Omodara, and also Abdulkanil. So as it stands right now, so prayer preparing their own for exchange, like for like. Obeng is a player being prepared to exit the pitch of play, and then you have Murital also coming in to replace him. It has been a change that has been long overdue. Obeng has been largely ineffective since the beginning of the game. He's played more than an hour in this game, and you wonder how he's been able to play more than an hour, 63 minutes to be precise. And Moritala enters the fray. House of Prayer need to defend this. House of Prayer need to defend this very well. And you have Abdulaziz Aruna being cautioned again. I don't understand why he's complaining a lot to the referee. You are in
Yeah,
possession of the ball.
yeah, he has
You are
been
in a great
complaining.
position to play a free kick. And he gets himself again in the books of the referee. Vidnad find themselves in a great position, and that's a poor kick there from Kundayo.
Yeah, if you see a wall like this, and you're in front of the goal, if you're not a player that have actually practiced a lot, you know what you need to do. You have to give like a 1-2 touch, like just a touch back slightly behind, and then the wall will break out, and then from there you can take a shot in between the wall. And if the goalkeeper is not really attentive to details, you catch him unaware, and that ball can just go straight into the net, and that was a wasted opportunity for me.
That's goal kick advantage to House of Prayer, cleared by Mujid. Header won there by Ridwan. The first header won, but nobody to take the second header. Again, Vidnot trying to hold possession in the center circle. Careless tackle from Abdulganil, and that's free kick advantage again to Vidnot in the center circle.
Yeah, I think this is what they need to watch. They need to watch how they give away infringements. They need to watch how they give away free kicks, especially in their own half. It's really not telling well for them, because if they concede the second goal, it's actually not a good game from my own end.
Free kick taken and being cleared by House of Prayer Football Academy. Again, Ekundayo holds possession in the center circle for Vidnad, and Vidnad still held possession of the ball in the center circle. House of Prayer trying to win back their possession. Ahmed still working as hard as you expect him, as the center forward should do. Vidnod now find themselves in space on the right hand side, and that's a good one from Egba Michael to wing back possession. Oluyede Sodiq now also deploying the time wasting technique to ensure he brings his team back into the game. 2-1 in favor of House of Prayer, who are preparing another exchange. Kamaldin Komo is about to be introduced into this game,
Yeah,
and I guess the player to come off is Abdulganil.
yeah, absolutely. I think Abdul Ghani have actually been silent since the first 10 to 20 minutes of the first half. He has not gotten a grip of this game. and they need fresh blood into the midfield to make sure that they are once again in control of the game.
And now this is Egba Michael. Guess that's a wrong pull, but he wins a corner from that great run on the right hand side. Corner for House of Prayer. This is the first time we're seeing House of Prayer really posing any threat in the past 10 minutes to VINOD. It's 2-1 in favor of House of Prayers. As it stands, the game ends like this. House of Prayer will be inflicting their first defeat on VINOD, and they also make their own second change of the game. Pomo is being introduced for Abdul. Abdul so far he had a very good, brilliant start to the game, but as the game goes on, he feels to be effective as he would have liked, and why he's being replaced.
Yeah, so let's see how the Vietnam gets to defend this set piece.
Good entering from Egba Michael from the corner kick, but unfortunately, Ridwan could not get the right header. It's another goal kick advantage to VINOD
Yeah,
as we head into the last 20 minutes of the game.
now this is where you get to change some kind of setup, not just having four players attacking always. Because if you're in this kind of situation with a team that can actually if inflict some kind of havoc against your defense, you need to be careful.
And now this is another one from Elvis. Ikpe Elvis being chased down by Monday. Monday this time around gets the right tackle and it's a throwing advantage. Uthman Popola to take the long throw. Ahmed Sadiq.
Yeah, I think Vietnam players need to be really, really careful. They are allowing this situation get into them. But as a footballer, in as much as you are a human being, you need to play to the instruction of the whistle, not always complaining. When you continue complaining that way, you get into the referee's cards.
House of Prayers have a player on the ground and it's Ahmed Sadiq. He has done a human job in this game. He's running down the flanks, also trying to put pressure on the defenders of VINOD. And you can understand why it's almost in the later stage of the game and it's tiring a little bit. So for Sadiq, still receiving treatment from the medics, seems to be getting back on his feet a little bit, just a bit of stretcher, and hopefully, let's hope he can get back on his feet and is comfortable to continue with the game.
Yeah, if you look at I think Vietnam needs to be careful, especially Aziz Haruna. He has been talking too much, and if he's not careful, he's already in the books of the referee. If he talks too much, I think that will warrant him to get and maybe another tackle, a careless tackle from him will just give him a red card straight. Because if you're talking to referees like that, they get to put their eyes on you, and any errors you make, they get to punish you for that.
So I'll play. We're back, and it's a long one from Akim. Egba Michael taking responsibility of the throwing. He goes long. Finds Ridwan. Finds Sadiq. Sadiq trying to find Ridwan, but unfortunately, he could not find his marker, and that's a good clearance from Abdul Majid. VINOD also have the ball deep into the half of House of Prayer Football Academy.
Now, I think this is a period where a certain Mubarak will be needed. I think Mubarak actually provides something very special. Not so much of a big player, not doesn't have the presence that you want, but his speed and his precision on the ball is something else. He has this technique and ability to shoot, especially when he's close to the 18-yard box.
And that's offside play from VINOD. Again, Ulede Sadiq is on the ground. Lady Sadiq is on the ground. As I said, he's a player just returning from injury, and you can see he seems to be clutching the nail.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier. You don't introduce players into games like that, especially when they're coming in from injury and you're playing a top opposition. You get to introduce them gradually, but as a goalkeeper, it's actually very difficult. I think they should have introduced him in a less competitive game, if I want to use those terms, because you're playing the table toppers. You know, they have a lot of quality. For them to be at the top of the table, it's not jokes. They actually have the quality, and that's actually telling on the goalkeeper, Oluide, right now, because of the so much work he had to do. Look at the double save he had to make, and then he had to make another save again in the same sequence of play. That is telling on him because of the fact that he is just coming back from injury.
From his reaction, he seems to be like someone who is also still feeling the pain of the nail because right now he's clutching the nail. And this is a goalkeeper who just returned from about 3 months layoff due to the nail injury. Hopefully, we hope he can get, after getting the sprays, he can get back on the feet and see this game out. But this is not good for the technical bench of House of Prayers, who have right now have Bulu Hatife to be going through his paces. Hopefully, if need be, he could be the replacement for Uluede. Uluede has imposed himself on this game. Just spoke about the three big saves he made earlier in the second half to ensure that the team remain in the game. Unfortunately, despite going the right way, he could not stop the penalty from Abdusalam Mohammed.
Yeah,
Oluyede seems to be back on. He seems to be fine, trying to get back on his feet. Now he's back on his feet after the medics attended to him. We hope that he's truly fine and can see out this game
yeah,
for the entire 90 minutes.
yeah.
See clutching that nail.
And I think this is the period where, as a good manager, you need to be pragmatic. Speaking about Wenger, he needs to be pragmatic at this particular level, making sure that his team is the midfield stays really, really watertight. Else, it will be a really, really difficult one for them because if you look at the way Vidman is actually playing, they are trying as much as possible to make sure they get that equalizer.
And this is another chance for Wittmann. They find himself in great positions. But Mo Michael with a great tackle says the central referee. Moritala tries to bring the ball out, but unfortunately he's being dispossessed too. Moritala wins the free kick. And now to the disappointment of Elvis and his coach Adigbite Kazim.
Yeah, I think these are the kind of players you want to see. You know, when you lose the ball, you get back, you track the ball back, make sure that you get the ball won, and that's what Murtala did right there.
Now also Prayer putting a long one inside the box. Modi trying to win the ball, wins the first order, but unfortunately possession now with Elvis. Elvis trying to launch one forward through Egba, but substitute Sunday Mohammed giving Egba a bit of problem in that place, and Egba eventually coming out on top.
Yeah, if you look at that ball, well, there's what we call shoulder to shoulder, but I think that referee misjudged that particular flow of play there. For me, it was not supposed to be an infringement because that was shoulder to shoulder kind of a play, but the referee decided to call an infringement on Eba.
VINOD again with another attack, and also Prayer. House of Prayer. They thought they won a throw in, but the lineman changes his opinion and grants a throwing advantage to House of Prayer.
Yeah, if you look at what they are doing, they are in a bid to be very fast. They are trying. They are not very careful about how the throwing should be taken. This is like the second throwing on this particular end of the field that they've actually lost. That's not how you play when you want to win games. Make sure you obey the rules of the game and play to this.
It's another throwing advantage to Egba Michael. Egba Michael taking his time. and it's been taken to long one, cleared eventually.
Now you look at this second balls is what I'm talking about. If you don't win those
That's
second
another
balls, is
long one from House of Prayer. That's a dangerous tackle from Momodara Olamilekan there, and is obviously going into the books of
yeah.
the referee.
I think he
I th-
needs to be taken out. He has actually overstayed his welcome, especially in this game in the second half. He has not been effective. This is the period where you need your team to be really, really active and effective, especially your midfielders. They need to control the game. Now he has picked up a knock for himself, going into a challenge that was needless. You didn't need to go for that challenge. The player was going nowhere with that ball. He was still struggling to control the ball, and now you've also picked up an injury and a card in the same sequence of play. That's not how you go into games or you go into tackles, especially when you want to avoid cards. This will actually accumulate, and it's not giving the right record for House of Prayer.
Omodara is still down on the ground. The medics are right now checking and attending to him. He's receiving attention assistance as the clock keeps ticking down. Less than 15 minutes left to play in this encounter. House of Prayer still lead by 2 goals to 1. One of those goals scored in the first half by Ahmed Sadiq. Also, before we have Akim Shuaib's header at the start of the second half. VINOD found a way back into the game through a penalty from Abdusalam Mohammed, and it's 2-1 advantage House of Prayer as we stand. VINOD have a free kick deep into their own half. They're throwing everybody inside the box, hoping to go long. This is another long one. House of Prayer clears. They go long again, and that's offside.
Yeah, it was clear. I think the player should have just let that ball pass, and then maybe a certain Kabiru would have lashed on it, but then decided to go for the contest, and that made it an offside. For me, players need to actually read games, especially when you're a goal down. Everything you do actually matters. Don't go for balls you know that you're clearly offside.
Oloyede Sadiq prepares himself to take this long. And it goes long again. Oloyede Sadiq for House of Prayer. House of Prayer, read one, trying to win the first header, but he could not. Eventually, wins a throw in for his side deep into Vietnam area.
Well,
Something that you notice right now from House of Prayers is looking at even the way Egba is walking. You need to, you expect the technical crew to now tell the players this is when you get your focus and concentration on the top level. Need to be winning every ball. You don't have to drop the performance level or the energy level in this game.
absolutely. I don't think this game is won already. I think just a goal up is not enough result, especially when you're playing against a very good team like Vitman. They are really doing everything possible to make sure that they get a result here. So if you're not keeping your energy at the highest level, they can get the goal back and then draw you to level, and it becomes a very difficult one for you. They will now be putting you in a difficult situation, trying to get a winner later on, which will not most likely be possible.
It's another throw in for House of Prayers. Egba Michael plans to take a long one. He takes another long throw in. Unfortunately, and Egba Michael wins back possession, trying to hold on to the possession of the ball, looking for who to get the ball to and entering into the box. Omodara, no, Ridwan trying to bring it down. Fortunately, he could not. Mujid clears for House of Prayer. It's another train for House of Prayer, and that's reckless control from Abdulaziz Aruna.
Yeah, well, sometimes when you're under pressure, trying as fast as possible to get the ball going, especially when you're a goal down and you know that just a goal will put you level into the game. Some of those mistakes comes in, and that's what we've just seen there. I think House of Prayer are planning to go long. They got a goal from this, and they are doing that once again.
Now Egba Michael with a long throw inside the box, trying to get the long throw down, but he could not get. Omodara trying to beat, and the referee says Omodara. Another foul from Omodara at the edge of the box. I think he's trying to defend another counter attack. The referee Infringement is another foul. Advantage to VINOD. Double change from House of Prayer Football Academy towards the end of this game.
Yeah, one thing we've noticed here is that Vignod FC have not done a lot of substitution, but if you look at the change in their style of play, it's actually really, really good. You know, making sure that they have control in the middle, in the midfield. And the substitution we've had so far from House of Prayer have not really been able to, seize back the control we saw in the first opening minutes of this game, and that shows that still there is more to be played for, more to a game to be played, a game to be lost, and a game to be won.
And Amodara is the player being sacrificed. He's been replaced right now. Amodara is being replaced. Same as Ridwan, who is coming out for Shola.
Yeah, I think this should actually bring in fresh blood, more energy, especially in the midfield. If that doesn't happen, I think House of Prayer have themselves to blame, because when you do substitution like this, that should charge up the midfield. Make sure that you are the attacking front instead of the defending front.
And Egba Michael, House of Prayer in possession. The substitute. Trying to look for Shola, another substitute. But this time around, the ball with Egba Michael, who is still charging forward and wins a foul into the half of Vietnam.
Yeah, that was really good play, especially from Egba Michael. Today he's not playing his usual position. You know, coming from the wing back, still has been troublesome for Vidnon. He has been that player that has actually been effective from first half to the second half. You will not see a moment where you say this guy has been silent. At least you see him dashing forward with those runs and tracking back to make sure that he covers his own side of the pitch really, really well. Let's see what comes out of this set piece.
House of Prayer prepare another set piece as we count down into the last minutes of this game. Referee Grims with impression. He said,
That was
and it's
really,
a
really
close one.
That was really, really close. Thanks to the goalkeeper, that is
Sunday Rashid.
Sunday Rashid. That would have been the third goal that maybe would have sealed things up for House of Prayer. But now they still have a corner kick to defend. I know very well but not actually have vulnerability when it comes to defending set pieces. They need to actually do better. If they concede a third goal here, I think that will be the end of the game for today.
Egba Michael takes his time before taking the corner kick. It's late into the game, so you can understand the players buying every time they could at this point in period in time. Egba Michael. Vidnod clears. Bringing in another attack. And look at the number of players they have up front. Beat his marker easily. This is dangerous for House of Prayer. Very dangerous.
When you see games like this, that the stakes are high, players get so tensed. You see Vidnot players crowding the referee, trying to explain the what transpired there. But then I think it's a situation. There is a card there for a player. I think for just complaining, he needs to be careful because three of their players right now are already on yellow card. One have been taken out, but two are still on the pitch. If they're not careful, it will be double damage for them in this game.
I think it's a train advantage to House of Prayer. That's what the central referee is saying.
Yeah, the ball went out.
Definitely, the first ball went out of play, but he didn't see the lineman, as at the time the lineman was raising the flag. And VINOD completed the attack, and he had to return the attack. House of Prayer still trying to defend their lead, while VINOD are doing everything to bring players forward.
I think they should take this as quick as possible. They are pushing the ball too forward, and if the referee begins to call it back, they
VINOD
should.
also take it quickly into the center circle, still trying to.
Another goalkeeper claim there from Oluyide, who did his job right there, because that was a good ball that was played into space, but unfortunately, or fortunately for House of Prayer, Oluyide was up to the task.
House of Prayer still trying to see what they can do. Ball launch forward to Egba Michael. Egba chasing with everything he has in him. And that could be risky because that means that the right hand side, if VINOD can walk this ball into the offensive position, and House of Prayer wins in a difficult position. And again, that's another careless tackle from the VINOD defender. I think
After the
the
ball was blown, I think there was no need taking that tackle. You already have the infringement to your advantage. You shouldn't do that. You are the disadvantage here. You're trying to give the opposition an opportunity to waste time, because that tackle was needless. You have the ball in your area. You have the opportunity to regroup, and right now the medics are going onto the page. That is another 30 seconds to 45 seconds. That will be gotten for House of Prayer to regroup and make sure that they set up their team the way it should be. This is not what you want to do. This is not the position you want to be if you are Coach Kazim. Knowing fully well that your players are not playing what they're supposed to do. That was a careless tackle. That was a needless tackle, I must say.
and it still 2 goes to 1 in favor of House of Prayer Football Academy. Assistant House of Prayer will return to the top of the league, while they would also inflict the first defeat to VINOD Football Academy of since the start of the league. Before the start of this game, VINOD are top of the league, and they seems to be in control and confident, as seems we are witnessing the showers of blessing late in the line here.
Yeah, the sun was so much in the afternoon, so the weather needed this rain to calm things a bit.
And for the
And
players, we are counting towards the end of the final 90 minutes. We're counting towards the end of the 90 minutes. And House of Prayer seems they need to put everything together to defend this last kick. As you can see, VINOD also putting everything forward. They know this might probably be the last kick of the game, and they need everything to defend. Look at House of Prayer pushing everybody out. And that's full time as the Rashidi Yakini main bowl in General Ini Stadium, right here in Ilorin, the capital of Kwara State. It finishes House of Prayer 2, VINOD Academy 1. With this, House of Prayer I might probably return to the summit of the Nigerian Youth League Cup, and have also, unfortunately for the away side, been inflated with their first defeat of the league.